Good morning, everyone. My name is Jupiter Tripura. My roll number is U24CS4116. Today, I'm going to present on the topic Web Basics, Tier Technology and World Wide Web. In this presentation, I will explain what the World Wide Web is, what tier technology means, and how multi-tier architecture works in modern web system. Let's begin with the World Wide Web. So, as you all might know, that it is a global system of interconnected web pages and online resources that we access through the internet. Like, for example, all of this. And we use browsers like Chrome, Firefox, and Safari to access websites and web applications. The World Wide Web supports many types of content such as websites, web applications, online services, and e-commerce platform. Today, almost every digital service we use depends on the World Wide Web. Now let's move on to tier technology. Now let's understand what tier technology means. Okay, tier technology, also called multi-tier architecture, is a method of designing software by dividing them into layers, different layers. Like for example, this picture. Each layer performs a specific task and communicates with other layers. This separation helps in organization, security, and scalability. Organization means the system becomes easier to manage. Security improves because problems in one layer do not directly affect the others. Scalability means individual layers can be upgraded independently depending on demand. The architecture is widely used in modern websites and applications.
Now let's understand the different types of tier architecture. The first one is one-tier architecture. In one-tier architecture, everything happens in a single system. This means the user interface, application logic, and data storage all exist in one machine or an application. There is no need for network communication because all processing happens locally. Examples of one-tier application include simple desktop software like calculators, text editors, or offline games. The main advantage of this architecture is simplicity. It is easy to develop and use. However, it also has limitations. It usually supports only a single user and is not suitable for large-scale applications. Next is two-tier architecture, also known as client-server model. In this architecture, the application is divided into two parts. The first part is the client tier, which handles the user interface and user interaction. The second part is the server tier, which stores and manages data. For example, when a user logs into an application, the client sends the request and the server processes it and returns the data. Some advantages of two-tier architecture are faster data access, easier implementation, and cost effectiveness for small applications. But it also has some limitations. Security risk may be higher because clients directly access the server, and scaling becomes difficult when the number of users increases. Now let's move to three-tier architecture, which is the most commonly used architecture in modern applications. It consists of three layers. The first is the presentation layer. This is what user interacts with, such as websites, mobile apps, or desktop interfaces. The second is the application layer. This layer contains the business logic. It processes user requests, applies rules, and manages communication between other layers. The third is the data layer, which stores and manages data in databases. The architecture is widely used because it offers better security, better performance, easier maintenance, and scalability. That is why most modern web applications follow the three-tier model.
Hello everyone. Today I am going to present the topic tier architecture in web technology. In this presentation, I'll explain different architecture models, their comparison, and key takeaways. Now, let us move on N-tier architecture. N-tier architecture is an advanced software architecture model used in large enterprise applications. In this model, the application is divided into multiple layers and each layer performs a specific task. For example, one layer may handle user requests, another may process business logic, while another manages the database. The architecture also includes additional layers like caching, load balancing, security, and API gateways. Because of this separation, N-tier architecture offers better scalability, security, and performance. It is commonly used in banking system, e-commerce platforms, and large cloud-based applications. Now let us compare different architecture models. First, one-tier architecture. This is the simplest model where all components are placed together in one system. It is mainly used in small local applications. Second, two-tier architecture. In this model, the client directly communicates with the database. This follows the client-server model. Third, three-tier architecture. This is the most commonly used architecture in modern applications. It separates presentation, business logic, and database layers. Finally, N-tier architecture. This extends the three-tier model by adding extra specialized layers for handling complex enterprise requirements. Now, coming to the key takeaways. First, software architecture has evolved from simple monolithic systems to layered architecture as technology became more complex. Second, three-tier architecture remains the most balanced and widely used model for web applications. Now, finally, layer separation improves scalability, maintainability, and overall performance, making it possible support millions of users efficiently. Thank you.